hadn't even heard that whole story, so how interesting that it all got started with just an idea. And that's what makes this all so fun. We're going to hear story after story from presenters that will have even if you know them personally, you're going to hear things that you might never have heard them share. So that's going to be the fun of the day. Well, Tacoma Art Museum's focus the past several years has been around the theme of identity. So Mighty Tacoma, Norman Rockwell, Verna Hafer, Dale Chihuly, currently the folk art of Mexico. And take a chance to go and look at the exhibits here. It's free today if you have time when we're done with our program. But also, we're in 2012, there's going to be another exhibit called Hide and Seek. All of these are different aspects about identity. And identity is really a challenging concept to clarify. It really takes looking deeper inside of ourselves when we think about what our identity is. And so it causes a lot of reflection, personal reflection, and awareness. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. I'm going to start it off with briefly focusing on identity with my name. So I introduce myself as Dayton Knipher. Now, there are a number of people in the room that only know me as Karen Knipher. But in 2007, I became a professional artist, and at that time, I became Dayton Karen Knipher. And so now there's people in the room that only know me as Dayton Knipher. And they don't know who that Karen Knipher is, any more than when people say Dayton Knipher. The people that know me as Karen Knipher don't know who that Dayton Knipher is. So that's a real identity twist. But behind that are my own personal reasons for how that came about. There was a fork in my road and a real defining moment for me that caused me to know that's what I wanted to do. So I'm not going to tell the story about that because we've got 20 presenters telling the story, but just to share just a little bit about how identity can become pretty complex, but also very energizing when we look deeper into ourselves. So I want to get started with the first person presenting, but I also want to encourage you, we're going to have a reception after the program. So please stay and join us for the reception. We will need to set it up a little bit, but please plan to stay for the reception afterwards. Our first presenter is Pam Riker, and so I'm only introducing the first presenter, and they'll introduce themselves. We're just going to flow through as we get started with our 2020 Identity and Portrait. So thank you for joining us, and here's Pam.